Welcome back to another episode of the Chit Chat Podcast video version. There's no other version, so I can stop saying that now. It's just the Chit Chat Podcast. This is it. Joining me as always is Brown.
I'm sure there's an audio version that'll go up somewhere, right?
Well, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. We do have the audio version that comes out on iTunes Podcast and wherever podcasts are sent.
We like to fact check ourselves mid-show.
That's exactly that's the best time to do it. That's complete transparency. Mm-hmm. But joining us in order to have a third level, because like government, we have the House of Legislation, we have the Senate, and then we have some other dude. Ben Johnson, what's up, player? He's the Fonzie.
I really didn't think you guys would do that, so.
Of course. Like, what do you mean? Solidarity.
Don't start a bit and don't expect us to fall in.
Exactly. All right. I'm going to separate you two more so than you've already been separated. But no, fellas, again, week 70 of the pandemic, of the podcast pandemic, which podcasts have become literally a pandemic. Everybody has one. But no, we're deep into binges, we're deep watching, all rewatching stuff. And it got me to thinking, fellas, that cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Do we need cliffhangers anymore? So I was watching this show, Upload, new show on Amazon, right? Starring Robbie Amell. You know, it's a bit of Altered Carbon. I don't know if y'all have seen that show at all. Either of y'all.
The first couple episodes.
Netflix joint.
I'm familiar, but I haven't seen it.
It's hard sci-fi. Pretty much people live forever because they can upload their memories and life into this like hard drive, basically. And The Good Place.
Okay.
So this dude dies and there's a thing called Upload where you can upload their consciousness digitally and you can just kind of keep them there.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it. Wasn't super interested in watching it, but I saw the trailer.
Didn't have a lot of like hope for it.
Right.
Watched it. Instantly binged.
Okay.
Instantly binged, right? And it made me feel some type of way because binging this show, I'm thinking I don't want to get into it because what if it just gets canceled? What if it has an ending where it's just like, oh my God, this is real good? And it does, actually. I'm just going to say it here. It does have a pretty interesting ending.
Okay.
But what if it's like Netflix? Netflix has been openly vocal about how they are like, people don't really come back for season 3 of a show. So just cancel it and people love the new stuff.
Netflix is staunchly anti-content.
So what? Should we keep cliffhangers or should we just like do like Futurama did for the longest time and have perpetually ended ended storylines? Like what are we thinking? Who wants to
just
go
always
first?
go on the assumption that you're going to be canceled.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like
always end your story arc you're on, but leave tendrils out for potential other content. I actually think the first season of Stranger Things did it really well, where
as much as I was going to bring this up, so I'm so angry that he brought it up because I think we feel exactly the same about this, and that's even worse.
Exactly. No, keep your storyline for your season very contained, but leave openings for more. And that way, if you're canceled, you've got a good ending, but there could be more. And I mean, we've seen so many shows get canceled and then end up being in other media like comic books or animated series. Firefly is one that comes to mind where it got canceled after the first season and it's just retained this weird cult following, which I get. I like the show, but comic books, audio dramas, all kinds of things.
So do you think that's good enough for you? Okay, so like using Firefly as an example.
No, not at all. I love that season of Firefly. I love the movie, but I've never binged any of the expanded universe content. Right. Usually if I'm following something that's in a certain medium, I want to keep it in that medium unless it just becomes such a juggernaut, like Star Wars, for example, where you can have side stories. Right. But if it's a self-contained story, it's like I'm following these characters. I don't really care about side stories that much. I'd kind of like it to stay
consistent.
I'm not closed off to like reading comic books that continue a storyline, but like it's not really the same thing.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people aren't really going to go for that extent. It's kind of like in video games when you have like those little notes that'll be on a table or
Right.
Like how many people actually do read that expansive stuff?
I beat the game and then go to the wiki and just read them all at once.
Exactly. So I think something I just rewatched, another thing I just rewatched, Community.
Yeah.
Y'all. Have you you've never seen Community, Ben?
Man, you're missing out.
No.
Oh my
I know about it, but I never watched it.
It's on Netflix now. You should watch it.
I know
I'm
how
busy.
you feel about absurd stuff and like that kind of I feel like Community would actually hit with you.
It could. Joel McHale. I grew tired of Joel McHale.
Really?
Yeah.
Because outside of Community, I don't really see he has that Netflix show.
Yeah, I like Joel McHale to an extent, but I'm kind of the same way where outside of Community, like I like him in small doses, but not really. He does kind of tire on me too, but I like him in Community a lot.
So I know y'all are tired of him, but I just watched a trailer for this movie called either Becky, Betty, or something like that.
White woman name.
Yeah. But it's one of those home invasion thrillers.
Interesting.
All right. Starring Kevin James as an evil prison break Nazi.
Well, why don't you give us your number?
My dog is a Rottweiler. Purebred, or as the Germans call them, Rottweiler Metzgerhund. That's why you never let them mate with other breeds. You get the worst of both.
Okay. Looking for this key, this MacGuffin.
Is this a serious movie?
This is a serious movie.
Okay.
Joel McHale stars the dad of the family. His name's Jeff.
Oh my God.
They're being held hostage, and the one who has to save them is their like 12-year-old, 10-year-old daughter.
Played by Dora.
Played by the girl who was in the Ouija movie. You never seen it?
I know.
Okay, well, this reference
I know what you're talking about. But
this reference is lost on everybody. But no, this little 12-year-old girl.
But I do want to hurt you real bad.
Who I guess has some kind of, she's on the spectrum of some type.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say she has psychic power.
No, she doesn't, but she's kind of psycho. Like she's like, you don't want to hurt me, and she's like, but I do want to hurt you. like so serious. I'm not lying. So that's out there in the ether, in the Joel McHale ether.
The universe.
It's just this movie.
Doesn't sound like something that I would watch.
I am vastly interested.
For a serious Kevin James.
Is what I'm saying, people. Is what I'm saying.
It sounds what was that John Travolta movie that came out last year where he was like a psycho stalker fan?
The one that I think you showed us trailer for that. I don't remember it at all.
It's really bad, but it's hilarious, and this sounds like it'd be right up that alley.
Kind of. It's so out of left field.
I might have to watch this.
It's one of those things where it looks like it's going to be some straight to DVD trash, but also the thing that we ask for a lot of time is, you know, movies regurgitate this formula several times. What's the way to make this interesting?
See, but that's the thing though, is like with stuff like this, like my gut reaction just based off of the words, the combination of words you gave me like 2 minutes ago was this is going to be garbage. I'm excited. I love watching movies that look like they're going to be garbage because 9 times out of 10 they are. But every once in a while, one of them, like you watch it and you're like, kind of diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
What you said, I don't think that sounds like diamond in the rough, but it could be.
I just Googled it because I had to. And the headline here, it says Kevin James is a sadistic bearded villain in rated R home invasion thriller Becky. And the thumbnail they've got, I don't know if you know who the Big Show is.
He looks like the Big Show.
It looks like the Big Show. It does not look like Kevin James.
I knew you love wrestling. I should have led with that. That's on me. I should have led with that.
Kevin James as the Big Show.
Kevin James literally as the Big Show. It looks
like a tiny Big Show.
I'm putting the link down in the description below. People go watch that trailer because it's Can we have him as the Big Show invading a house, and then what's homeboy from Ant-Man, the Hispanic actor, Michael Pena?
Michael Pena as Rey Mysterio coming in to save the day.
Sure. See, for two antagonists with each other, that was a joke for y'all because I have no idea who Rey Mysterio is.
Oh, 619, dude.
Lost on me.
Speaking of Lost, Cliffhangers.
Yeah, no, Cliffhangers.
I don't know.
The show's going to be a cliffhanger before too long.
I thought he was supposed to be the one that you
Camera going to go out. Zoom going to go out.
Camera already went out. I heard the while we were talking. Press F in the chat.
Like, Alexa, play Taps.
That's too sad. Play Despacito. But no. But no. So that's what, before I got off on that tangent, I feel like that's what Community was very self-aware.
Oh yeah, it knew it could end anytime.
Well, especially in season 6, the Yahoo season, it was that last episode was pretty much like, man, I wonder what season 7 could be like, because honestly, they could have gotten rebooted or refreshed, but like what happened? They got canceled. Yeah, like it's, and I don't know how I feel about that.
So I think in general, you should be confident enough in your own storytelling to not have to rely on a cliffhanger to keep people interested. Mm-hmm. That's how I view it from a writing perspective. But I also recognize like shows that like are very obviously going to survive, like Lost. Like, say what you will about Lost, that show was a juggernaut when it came out and just got ridiculous ratings every week. They knew they were going to be renewed until they decided to end it. So it made sense for shows like that to have cliffhangers because it already had crazy views. That show is very much like, what are we going to talk about around the water cooler the next day at work? Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about Lost. Made sense to have cliffhangers. That was kind of the whole appeal of that show on some level, is like, what the hell's going on? Right. So for shows like that, I get it. For shows that are maybe not popular enough, first season should always be self-contained to an extent. I will say that. First season should always have some sort of ending where it's like, all right, this could be the end because it's the first season. There's no way to know if we're going to get renewed. Past that, you should kind of understand how popular your show is, in my opinion. And that's, again, Stranger Things. Every season could be an ending.
So, but there are some shows that get like knocked off at the knees before they even like finish, like Swamp Thing.
Should have been better.
Remember what happened? Remember, say what? Should have been better. Wow, such a jerk. But no, like Swamp Thing got canceled. Like I think in the middle of production.
Oh yeah. I feel like there was more going on with that.
There was. And
that's not their fault.
None of this is ever like the show's fault. You know, I mean, you know, quality be, you know, some type of factor, but I mean, like all the time, like cartoons, I think get it the worst. Yeah. Like shows like Young Justice, right? For all my DC fans out there, Ben's like, I thought everybody's in the
watch these cartoons. I'm a grown man.
I'm sorry. Look, should we take a tour of your bathroom?
I told you that in confidence.
But no, you did. Sorry, podcast. There's no secrets. There are no walls between us and our audience. But no, Young Justice got canceled because of toy sales going to the quote unquote wrong demographic. Girls were more interested in buying the figures than boys were. Apparently,
I've never heard this before.
Yeah. That's a thing that was happening.
Who's buying them as long as somebody's buying them.
Thank you.
We don't want this feminine money.
I literally don't understand the thinking of a lot of these executives.
These dollar bills have cooties on them. It may as well be Monopoly money.
Press F in the chat for Collin. But no, so it's something about like, I don't know. I'm with what you said and what I want to hear more from like what Ben thinks about this, because I know you don't get a lot of chance to. So like you especially, you don't have a lot of time to watch television like that. So like, wouldn't it just be mad at you? Wouldn't that make you mad? You and your wife sitting there watching the show, like just it's going on and on. You're invested in the next thing. You get like a Sopranos ending. Like what?
I got a bad just experience with cliffhangers anyway, because as you're aware, I'm an old man. I've been around for a while, and one of the worst things that ever happened to me as a child was Alf.
I've heard of this.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alf. I'm about to make it all like a musty old basement in here because I'm dropping the old man stuff. But Alf, the alien life form, Gordon Shumway from Planet Melmac, he was huge in the 80s.
Okay.
When I was a young lad. Just basically a sitcom about an alien that crash lands in a family's garage and the wacky antics they get into. It was a wildly popular show. A lot of merchandising. They sold a lot of toys, a lot of Alf dolls. And all of a sudden, I forget, 2 or 3 seasons in, they end their last season on a cliffhanger because they're like, well, they can't cancel us now. They got to find out what happens to Alf. Dead. Alf is dead, and you never find out what happens to Alf. They make a TV movie years later to try and explain what happened to Alf, but it has no references to the family that he lived with. And it's just Alf, and this happened in the 90s. So as a true Alf loyalist, Cliffhangers, they broke me as a young child.
Yeah, from what I understand, the show ends with him being like captured by the government to be experimented on, and the little kid's like, "No, Alf," and it ends like a canceled.
That's it. To be continued. It says to be continued, and they're like, "Nah, we're not picking this back up."
So, have y'all ever heard of the Dinosaurs?
Oh yeah,
Dinosaurs,
Yes.
like the
I
little
love that show
sitcom.
too.
also depressing ending.
Depressing. It ends with the Ice Age. Like they're a family of dinosaurs.
And the dad caused it.
And
He's like, I really messed up, kids.
that Alf ending is the most depressing thing I've heard since the dinosaur ending. Y'all are really bumming me out with
They
these.
didn't care in
endings.
the 80s and 90s.
I feel
I
that.
don't know that dinosaurs, because he even like says, he goes, "Don't worry, kids. Dinosaurs have been around for thousands of years. We're not going anywhere." And then it like slow pull out from the window, and you see the ice, and it's like, wow, that's some like heavy shit.
Oh
I
no!
love it.
You're not coming back from this, bro. I'm sorry.
You're done.
All right.
You're gonna be oiling a little bit.
On a brighter note, I suppose we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Because I much like actual cliffhangers, we're gonna leave this conversation on a cliffhanger.
We'll come back to it.
Probably someday.
Next season.
Honestly. Next season. Oh, nice. If we get renewed. But I'm gonna talk. We have to appease our sponsors. So I've heard some rumors. I've been on the internet. I've been clicking and tap. No, not bubbly. We're not being sponsored. Put that down.
You wore a shirt just for the occasion.
I did. When Captain America throws his mighty shield. Yeah. You want to talk about old? I'm talking back to the original Captain America cartoon. But no. MCU. A lot of speculation on what's going to happen next after Endgame. Endgame happened. Thanos snapped. He got snapped back. Tony Stark came with the
Snap
clap
back to reality.
What's going to happen next? And in my mind, like, I don't know what y'all thought was going to happen with the next. Like, there's a lot of rumors, but the way they were going, I was thinking Skrull invasion. Right? Seems to make sense. You got Captain Marvel introducing the Skrulls. They're all shapeshifty. You know, we're getting properties are going back and forth. But I've heard some other rumors that I didn't even think of. I'm still stuck into the 616 universe of story arcs. I didn't even think about Ultimate Marvel. Ultimatum, right? You not a fan?
As someone that read the Ultimatum comics as they were coming out, not a fan.
Okay.
Not good.
Okay. So, and that seems to be the consensus I'm getting around the internet, because me myself, I was okay with it.
It was shock value for shock value.
There was definitely a lot of shock value, but let's give a little.
The Blob ate the Wasp while she was alive.
I was going to ease into that, but yes, that was the thing.
Do you think Disney's going to do that?
No, but
Can you imagine if they did?
So
Disney Plus Ultimatum, that's the cover.
So Wasp gets her role in Ant-Man and Wasp 2, and they just bump it.
No, she's in 3.
Okay. And
it's just focused on her, so you really like her.
So the next day we get that shot inside that building, and it's just Blob turning around looking like a crazy cannibal zombie.
And no one knows who he is because more mutants aren't there yet. They're just like, who are you? What?
Crazy. Ben, have you? So I know you a little bit into the comics. You know what we're talking about. All is this skimming over your head?
I gotta admit, I did a little research beforehand because I didn't know what this was about, and I'm gonna go with unpopular opinion. I like Thanos. I think it should have ended after Infinity War. Just leave them all dead.
Oh, wow.
Hot takes.
Well,
Hot takes.
I mean, it would have been bold.
It would have been bold.
What a cliffhanger that would have been.
Exactly.
I want you to understand. I would walk up to Kevin Feige, walk up to his house and wherever he lives, and give him the ceremonial boxing gloves, because we would have to duke it out after that. I'm not leaving it on Spider-Man going, I don't feel so good.
I would have gone to.
I mean, that was rough. Of all of them, when Spider-Man was going down, I was like, oh,
what if
my wife can't see me cry about Spider-Man?
Okay. Let's do a Marvel what if right now.
Okay.
What if they would have ended it briefly after Infinity War, and all those characters were gone.
Okay,
and then at that point, you introduce the mutants and Fantastic Four for a few years, and that's the interim of those 5 years. And we've got our other characters that survived in the background doing stuff, but we really focus on them. And then it's them and the surviving Avengers, like 5 years after Infinity War, and that's when you get Endgame.
That'd be an interesting way to introduce mutants, like somehow having the snap,
like the radiation activated it.
Right.
But just imagine you introduce all these new characters and they're like, no, these characters are dead. You're getting new characters. Thanos is still out there. He won. And then like that's the 5 year like setup is we got to rebuild.
Okay. So I will say that would have been a good like as a story sort of payoff in order to lead into Endgame instead of like Infinity War, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, whilst Infinity at Endgame.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, holding that, like, having that long pause that, like, let us ruminate in that.
Imagine that last battle, though.
It would, yes, that would be
even bigger.
10 times, 100. One, I don't know if you would like that.
Me?
Yeah.
Personally. Probably not.
Right. Also, I think that movie would have been 5 hours long.
Good. Split Endgame into 2 parts.
Which, I mean, originally was 2 parts.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Well,
it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Kevin, call me.
Okay, call him, Kevin. But no, had you done that, I'm like, fellas, give me a second, Mr. Fay. Had you done that, the ceremonial boxing gloves would have been given to you, and we'd have had to duke it out. Understand? You made the right decision. Don't listen to these fools. You made the right decision. But no, next big story arc, right? Ultimatum. All right. So take out the death. Take out the death. A lot of deaths happening. Take it out. Right. Some people are saying it's a good gravitas way of introducing Magneto instead of doing like the whole X-Men fighting him on whatever 3 Mile Island, whatever the rocket leave. Have him try to change the magnetic poles.
Polarity.
Right. Why I think this could happen. We missed the window of Spider-Man dying in Civil War. But remember, Ultimate Marvel Ultimatum is where they killed Peter Parker off, and then Miles came in with all that.
I think they're doing that anytime soon. So I got 2 feelings on this. One, I do think to some extent, if you want to like just bash people over the head with all mutants are here now, that would be a cool way to do it. Just have Magneto show up out of nowhere and people be like, who is this guy? That being said, I don't think Marvel's play right now is to really do another big event for a while.
I think
you're going to see like smaller arcs. Like I think they are going to do Secret Invasion, but I think they're going to do it Civil War style, where it's just Captain Marvel 2 is going to be Secret Invasion. I think they're going to have smaller arcs, and I think they're going to keep everyone kind of split in their own neighborhoods.
Introduce those smaller teams, Young Avengers, Thunderbolts.
Introduce a mutant here or there as parts of other movies, and then that's going to be the next big event is X-Men.
Let me ask you this. Forgive my ignorance because I'm not a mutant guy. So these mutants that are coming, are we assuming there's going to be any tie back to the former X-Men movies or anything? Like,
no.
Are they going?
I'm assuming clean slate.
I would assume clean slate. Here's what I would be happily surprised
Except
about.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ben, I don't know if you've been paying attention to like the Fox movie. I almost said Sony. The Fox X-Men movies that have been coming out. But there's one recently that before the bought over was supposed to be released. That is, thanks to the pandemic, still having trouble being released.
Mutants, yeah.
New Mutants could have some kind of, and I know this is far-reaching, far-fetched, but could have some kind of after credits stinger.
So they actually came out and said that it won't tie in.
Can I have my like?
But
why do you ruin everything?
Why do you ruin everything?
That's my secret, Cap. I always no, but see, they've said things like that before, and they went back on it. So that could easily just be like, don't stress over it too much, because what I'm hearing now is it's going to be on Disney Plus,
which makes sense.
Which
I think
might
we said that before. Like it should have just been.
Realistically, yeah. Even though I actually have high hopes for that movie.
No, of course.
I actually think it'll
looks good. They showed some more stills of it.
What I will say is if they are doing an ultimatum of sorts, it could potentially be a big event, but instead of it, what they like to do also, I've noticed, is use event names from the comics, but not really have it be that.
Age of Ultron, not
Civil
really like
War
the Age of
was
Ultron.
like similar, but it was kind of different.
Right.
They could do Ultimatum, have it tie into Multiverse of Madness, and have it be two universes colliding, to where that's how they introduce Fantastic Four and X-Men.
That's you really wanting Secret War to have some kind of
but I don't think that'll
play.
be. I don't think that'll be Secret War. I think that'll be the
no.
first
But
hint
that would lead towards
Right.
Secret War. The incursions are starting.
Because if you do that, then you immediately give characters like, oh, this has happened once. Could it happen again? Let's form the Illuminati. Doctor Doom comes from another universe. He's like, oh, I can control more than just my own universe. Oh,
Right.
neat. That's how I would do it. But I'm also not Kevin Feige, so I don't know.
Man,
if
Secret
Ultimatum is a real
War-
thing, I don't know how they're going to do it.
Secret War is such a big like endeavor. Like
That's gotta be
going
the
back
next
and
big
reading
event.
It. Well, I mean, there's so many things that you have to introduce, like the Molecule Man, right?
You don't have to.
You don't. I feel like you do though, because there's so
the
many
whole
like
setup for Civil War 1 was what's his face exploding and killing a bunch of kids.
right.
And they didn't do anything similar to that at all. Well, kind of similar,
Kind of.
but they retooled it with characters we already knew.
Yeah, but the way that they retooled it was just it
Scarlet
just
Witch.
didn't
You need
work.
you
4
need-
minutes.
You need to bend reality? Scarlet Witch.
Okay, all right. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we'll come right back, and we're gonna take a little bit of a break, come right back, and I'm gonna go to see what Ben thinks, and then we'll move into the short film shout out, and we might. and might end it there. So yeah, we just got some dropping news. Even though I will edit this, and this will no longer be hot news. But Little Richard dead at the age of like 500.
87.
At what age?
87.
At 87.
Pour one out.
Okay, so I mean, I was a big fan of Little Richard.
Were you?
I was.
You immediately start talking trash.
No, because tell
You
me
kinda did.
honestly.
He's not lying. You kind of
Tell
did.
me honestly, you could understand Little Richard. Come on now. No, I'm thinking of James Brown.
Wow.
So you're literally just being racist.
Yep.
Yeah, you're just being offensive, really.
So Little Richard died 87.
Oh, God.
Best wishes to
James
his
Brown
family.
has been dead for a while. That's why you thought he'd been dead.
That's okay.
Thanks for coming to the Chit Chat, where we're experts in our field of study. We know exactly what's going on.
Study. We're speaking nonsense. That's basically our field of study. But no, Little Richard. Dearly
Now
departed.
that do you know who that is? Do you have any idea who that is?
Yes, I know who Little Richard
Okay.
is.
Okay.
He's played by that one guy in the James Brown movie. So anyway,
He's not the one that wears the big clock. You know that, right?
no, that's Flavor Flav. Where's he at? Where's his biopic?
He just got kicked out of
Oh, there's actual Flavor Flav news.
I can't. Well,
News.
Public Enemy. Him and Chuck D. Chuck D kicked him out.
Recently, like they've
within
been
the last
making
6
music.
months, because Chuck D wanted them Bernie to use some of his music, and Flavor Flav was like, "Nah, I don't want that." And Chuck D was like, "All right, bye."
He's just like, oh, I'm not feeling the burn.
I guess.
It's time to stop.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Hey,
So what were we talking about?
what? It's like I just want to stop this madness.
Little Richard. We were talking about Little Richard.
We're not talking about Little Richard, although they play some Little Richard music in the background. Feature
Good role
track.
for Don Cheadle in the future. Once War Machine dies.
Honestly, that's if they go Civil War 2. But no. Okay, all right, Ben. What do you? So what, on this comic bookery? What do you think?
I like Thanos. I wish they were all still dead.
Movie theaters closed down, and honestly, if you're mom and pop stores in your area, they probably won't open back up when this is over. So you're gonna need another form of entertainment. Like this theater, the big chain theaters are gonna be more crowded. So I like to let people know that there are other forms of things out there, like short films, because honestly, the short film community is where you're gonna see a lot of the most interesting changes, and
Risks.
you need
Lot
to
of risks.
give. Much like you need to support your smaller businesses, support your smaller creators. So the one that I will talk about today, I would save towards Halloween, but nah, I'm gonna do it now. It's called Day of the Deaf, I believe it's called, or Death of the Dead. I can't remember.
I hate these titles.
I'm gonna have to put it into the comments.
Okay.
But the whole thing is there's sort of this signal that goes around, like this high pitched whine that goes around across the world, and it makes people zombified. People.
That was a Stephen King novel called Cell.
I thought it was Siren. Or
It's called Cell. There's a signal sent through everyone's cell phones that made them like turn into crazy cannibals.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot in that vein.
Yeah.
However, the only survivors that we follow like 3 survivors in this short film. It's about a 15-minute short film, but the 3 survivors that we follow are all deaf.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. If you watch it, there are actually some interesting, what I like about this, there's some interesting cuts that happen here. There's a really good tracking shot that happens between 2 characters.
So it's almost like what was it, Bird Box? Is that what the movie was called from last year?
There was Bird Box, but there was also Silence or something like that. That was like a Bird Box ripoff that also came on Netflix.
We just need the Infinity Gauntlet of people with one of their senses missing surviving an apocalypse.
Why not?
If you taste, you'll die.
if you
Taste of the Dead.
I thought you didn't like the
I hate it.
Now that you do it, it's fine.
Yeah. No, I hate it.
Hypocritical. But no, I don't know who the creators are, so I can't really shout out who they are. A lot of the background stuff like I did for the Assorted Kinds video. I will put some clips of here, maybe try to find a trailer, maybe make a little sort of impromptu trailer, some scenes or whatever. But I do think it is actually worth watching if you are a fan of the zombie genre. And honestly, for the creativity that's on display here, definitely go check it out. And with that, I think that'll be our show. Since you are our remote guest, Ben, I know you have some things to pimp out, so go ahead, pimp it out to the people.
Oh, okay. If you're looking for more from me, which honestly, after this episode, you've got to be looking for more from me. Definitely nothing from Trae, because
I played the villain. I don't regret anything.
Yeah, you went for it, man.
We're in a real the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation right now.
I see that.
We just turned on you.
I don't understand why.
I came in with a lot of ready hate for Collin, but suddenly he's not looking so bad. Anyway, if you want to see some of my short films, since you didn't decide to shout out any of those, you can go to RideThatDonkeyProductions.com, find all the short films there. We actually just launched a new podcast yesterday called Group Chat After Dark. So you can find that on Podbean and other places. I don't know. But we're going to do monthly podcasts. What's that?
Do you not handle the distribution?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I black out.
I just like to comment, competitor podcast. Cut that out.
Cut that out. I don't think you understand what's happening here. No editing.
Okay.
No editing. It's all straight.
We're going live.
Might as well. But other things.
That's it.
Oh, you don't want to shout out another show of which somebody is the star?
Well, that's part of it. It's all on the website. You go to Ride That Donkey. You get it all. But yeah,
okay.
I did a pandemic version of my show, which I am the star, where I interviewed my baby.
One of my favorites. That baby.
So
that baby's a star.
Sounds good.
Kid, she's got timing.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Collin Brown.
Twitch.tv, Cebbers, Cebbers. I don't stream much, but I do sometimes. You might get lucky. Gonna, once this is all over, try to work on some other non-live streaming type stuff, but who knows when this is gonna end. So
like what non-live streaming stuff, like what, like skits, something like that?
I don't know yet. I've got a few ideas in the old noggin, but
keeping them hush hush.
I am one of those people that has a new idea every week, and I never do any of them.
I feel that. And of course, if you want more from me, me and Chris do the Dark Souls stream on Monday nights. So you check that out. Monday it's about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Twitch.tv/Infernowl. And if you got to check out the podcast on iTunes. Go ahead, give us a rate, review, 5 stars. Just don't even review. 5 stars.
We might potentially be doing some Production 1200 streams we discussed.
Yes.
At some point.
I wanted to. I was actually going to talk to you about that after
confirmation,
this.
but maybe some gameplay from me and Trae and
something very poignant for this pandemic season. You know what I'm saying? But we'll leave again under the hat. But of course, if you know where you can check those out, YouTube.com/production1200. That's where we be. Facebook production 1200. That's where the shows be a week later. But you can always leave us messages on there, talk to us. It's all gravy. But yeah, I think other than ostracizing myself to all of humanity, I think we're out. Peace. I like chicken grease.
Brian, dear, this is very important.
Hey, if the kid said he didn't do it, he didn't do it. Stop with the third degree.
Fine. If he didn't do it, that makes you the prime suspect.
Brian, dear, this is very important. Did you break the window?
No.
Huh. Who could it have been?